Streaming live now on News8000.com. You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now, This Morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Alexandra Carter.
And I'm Art Jarrett.
It is Tuesday, August 20th. Suddenly craving lemonade after our last story.
Oh, that looked delicious.
I know. It sounds really nice and refreshing. It'll be a good day for a lemonade stand, right? On this National Lemonade Day?
Yes, but I would probably wait till the latter portion of the week and going into
okay.
the weekend where you could get better sales there.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Speaking of sales, I want to sell you this bill of goods right here. We're going to be seeing the possibility of warmer temperatures not happen until later on the week, as I mentioned, but you're going to see these things really start to cool down a bit. We'll be on the cool side of the mild today, getting into at least widespread 70s to around 80 degrees. In fact, we'll see possibly in the evening we'll get much cooler. A 10% chance of sprinkles turning into about a 10% chance going into the overnight as well for a shower, and that'll come in from the west. We'll go over that in a second, but take a look at the visibility here. Picking up some dense fog out there with some low cloud activity starting to work in from Black River Falls and extending out to areas down to Decorah. So that means that may cross us, and that may take us down to at least some patchy fog for this morning. In fact, we'll kind of get rid of it soon as we go into possibly the 7:30 to 8 o'clock hour. And current temperatures for you, 50s widespread with some 60s already here for La Crosse. As I mentioned, cooler temperatures, and once we get into tonight, we have those sprinkles coming in. Now, that being said, take a look here as we get into it. We're looking at the dry radar right now, but you can see the sprinkles starting to slowly come in bit by bit across in the Mississippi as we get into the 7 o'clock hour, and then possibly by the 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock hour going into 11 o'clock, you could see a little bit of rainfall coming into our forecast. So when I come back, I'll have more to let you know how this will all play out. I'm going to send it over to Alexandra.
Thank you, Art. We'll check back in with you in just a bit. Day 2 of the Democratic National Convention is set to start later today. President Biden wrapped up night 1 with a strong endorsement of his former running mate and his VP, Kamala Harris. Presumptive nominee Harris took the stage in a surprise, praising President Biden's career from his years as a U.S. Senator to his current role as Commander-in-Chief. Democrats aim to appeal to the American people with their For the People message as voters adjust to the Harris-Walz ticket just weeks after President Biden withdrew from the race.
We've made incredible progress. We have more work to do. And Kamala and Tim will continue to take on corporate greed and bring down cost of food.
A stark contrast to how Republicans also in Chicago and former President Trump see this transition.
She did not get one vote in the primary. This is a coup. They're going to formally kick the president to the side of the road tonight. They call this defending democracy?
If I don't think somebody's good at something, if somebody's not good at something, I've always spoken my mind. I don't think she's very good at this. I think she'll destroy our country.
Back in Chicago, the Democrats also ceremoniously confirmed Tim Walz as the VP. Today, former First Lady Michelle Obama is expected to speak, and so is her husband, former President Barack Obama. From Wisconsin Democrats to cowboy Kamala fans, enthusiasm for Harris and Walz is surging. A Monmouth poll shows Harris nearly doubling Democratic excitement compared to Biden. Young voters are particularly energized. While both Harris and Trump must mobilize their young bases in Wisconsin, young Democrats are determined to turn the Badger State blue. News 8's Allison Fergit reports from Chicago.
I can't even describe how excited I am.
Wisconsin's young Democrats are fired up to vote for Kamala Harris.
Young people are excited. They're thrilled to support a ticket that supports their values.
Harris and Walz self-describe as, quote, joyful warriors, and that optimistic energy is spreading to the party's youngest members.
It's just been constant. This is the most important election of your lifetime, and we're running off of fear. And for the first time, we're still nervous, but we're much more motivated by excitement.
They believe the switch at the top of the ticket has energized young people to get involved.
In the beginning, students weren't excited to vote. They didn't really care who was the president. And when Kamala announced and Tim Walz announced, I've seen people who weren't planning on voting at all who are so ready to vote for the ticket.
And those young voters could be the make or break in a state with razor-thin election margins. Massachusetts-based Tufts University says Wisconsin's youth are the most likely to impact the presidential election outcome in their state.
The youth is very important. I mean, in this election and the next election, whatever election it may be, the youth will always be important.
The Young Dems here say the Harris-Walz ticket best represents the issues they care about the most.
One, there's climate change. We want to make sure that our planet is habitable as we grow into the workforce. There's a question of affordability. Kamala Harris just released her economic plan, which makes college more affordable, housing more affordable, so that as we, grow up and enter the workforce again, we can afford those costs.
And they're hoping to use policy and positivity to continue building momentum for their candidates.
You can see by the masses of people who are taking to the streets, knocking on doors, talking to their neighbors, that there's something special that's happened in this election with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
Reporting in Chicago, Allison Ferget, News 8 Now, This Morning.
And ahead of day 2 today of the DNC, both parties are making stops in Wisconsin. Kamala Harris and her running mate will appear at Pfizer Forum at 4 p.m., their third visit in recent weeks. Republican VP nominee J.D. Vance will hold a press conference in Kenosha, joined by GOP Senate nominee Eric Hovde and Representative Brian Steele. Top U.S. intelligence officials, meanwhile, determining Iran was behind the hack of former President Donald Trump's campaign and an attempted hack on the Biden-Harris campaign. The hackers allegedly leaked Trump campaign documents to several news organizations. Democratic campaign officials report the hackers were unable to gain access to their operations. U.S. officials say this investigation provides the clearest evidence yet of Iran and other countries' attempts to influence the 2024 election. Experts warn such cyber attacks could escalate as we get closer to Election Day. Bangor residents will see an important school funding question on your November ballot. Bangor voters will decide whether to renew a $900,000 annual funding boost for the school district. This referendum seeks to continue the support voters first approved in 2021. If residents vote yes, the funding will kick in for the 2025-26 school year. A no vote could force the district to increase class sizes, delay maintenance, and cut student opportunities. This morning, uncertainty over the future of ceasefire talks in the Middle East, hours after Secretary of State Antony Blinken said Israel accepted a White House proposal. Hamas leaders criticized the details of that peace plan. CBS's Jared Hill has the latest.
This morning, a tragic discovery in the Middle East. Israeli authorities say soldiers recovered the bodies of 6 hostages overnight in Gaza. This comes more than 10 months into Israel's war against Hamas. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken with news of possible steps toward an end.
Israel accepts the bridging proposal, that he supports it.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu accepting a plan presented by Washington to bridge the divide between the two sides that so far blocked a ceasefire and hostage deal. Blinken didn't provide details on the deal, but reports say a significant sticking point is Israel's demand to maintain control over a narrow buffer zone along Gaza's border with Egypt called the Philadelphia Corridor. Israel says Hamas has tunnels there for smuggling weapons. Some experts say there is chance for compromise.
I think the Americans are trying with some sort of technical fixes. There'll be sensors. The Israelis can watch the feeds. I think we are possibly close to some sort of agreement on that.
A Hamas official said Blinken's optimism is trying to hide obstacles Israel is creating.
How many kids do you kill today?
Blocks from the Democratic National Convention, small groups of pro-Palestinian protesters clashed with police. Inside,
those protesters out in the street, they have a point. A lot of innocent people are being killed.
President Biden acknowledged the losses on both sides. Talks continue this week.
And Secretary of State Blinken continues his trip in the Middle East with meetings in Egypt today. The northeastern U.S. reeling from deadly and damaging storms this morning. Connecticut officials report 2 flood-related deaths so far. The governor calls the flooding historic in his state of emergency declaration. The storm is behind at least 100 evacuations and extensive damage in the state. In New York, officials in Long Island's largest county estimate at least $25 million in damage. Former Congressman George Santos has admitted he committed fraud. The disgraced New York Republican pleaded guilty to wire fraud and identity theft yesterday. It's part of a plea deal that'll result in a restitution payment of $374,000. Santos will be sentenced in February, and he could end up spending 7 years in prison. Following his plea, he told reporters he wanted to be held accountable for his actions.
This plea is not just an admission of guilt. It's an acknowledgement that I need to be held accountable like any other American that breaks the law.
Santos admitted to charging donor credit cards without authorization and falsely stating the money would be used for TV ads. Santos further admitted he received unemployment benefits he wasn't entitled to during the pandemic. Congress expelled Santos last December on ethics violations. 4 teenagers were hurt in a weekend UTV crash in Viroqua. According to the Vernon County Sheriff's Office, a side-by-side UTV was headed east on the Upper Maple Dale Road when the 14-year-old driver tipped the UTV onto its side while making a right turn. All 4 passengers were taken to Vernon Memorial Healthcare and were released that day. No seatbelts or helmets were used. The crash is still under investigation. Happening today, a section of Cass Street in downtown La Crosse will be closed. The city will close both east and westbound lanes of Cass Street from 7th to 3rd for the downtown tree project. The city hasn't announced an end date for the work and says no detour will be posted. Drivers should plan alternate routes and give yourself some extra time while the project is underway. The time now is 6:10. Still ahead on your morning news, the owner of Circle K stores makes a bid to buy 7-Eleven. BurgerFi may have to file for bankruptcy protection, and Purdue Foods is recalling frozen chicken nuggets for potential metal contamination. Get ready to hear a lot about grocery prices in the run-up to November's election. Coming up, which groceries are impacted the most by inflation and if changes are expected anytime soon. For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. Officials at the Phoenix Zoo say they were left in disbelief when footage from a mountain trail camera revealed the area's first sighting of an ocelot in half a century. Those are a wild big cat. There it is, about twice the size of a typical house cat. They're also endangered in the U.S., which would explain why this trail cam capture of the ocelot's cameo was not only a welcome sight, but one that, according to zoo officials, sent chills through their body. For now, leaving you with an inside look at the United Center in Chicago, home to this year's DNC. Today, former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle are set to take the stage. We'll have continued coverage of the events throughout the day. Stay with us.
At By Gotham Rohde, we know reputation is important, and it can affect your case's outcome. If you want your case to be taken seriously, you need lawyers who are taken seriously. By Gotham Rohde, serious injuries need serious lawyers.
Life has become too expensive. Groceries and gas have gotten out of control, and red tape is killing the economy. But fortunately, our Congressman Derek Van Orden is fighting for solutions to make living more affordable for us in Wisconsin. He's advocating for common sense bills that would make everyday items like gas and groceries more affordable.
Now, Congress has an opportunity to lower costs by cutting red tape. Tell Congressman Van Orden to keep working to lower costs and support the Red Tape Reduction Act.
Improving your home, improving your life with a better bathroom. In just a day or two, you can enjoy a wonderful new tub or shower that is attractive, easy to care for, and safe. New fixtures, shelves for storage, and grab bars for safety. Be safe, be happy, enjoy bathing again. Be even happier with everything new. Comfort Height toilet, vanity, sink, faucet, mirror, light, and new flooring. Call or visit the board store for a prompt free estimate. Get more for less today and every day.
To everyone out there who loves Culver's,
the feeling is mutual. Everything's made fresh.
Everything. Everything.
It's our pleasure.
This is me and my happy place.
I wouldn't trade our Culver's for any other restaurant.
Culver's.
Yay! We love our guests.
Love. As much as our guests love us.
This has been my happy place.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Yeah.
My son, Nick, took illicit fentanyl, which cost him his life. And knowing that my son is never coming back is the worst thing that I will have to live with for the rest of my life.
Tammy Baldwin's been with us every step of the way. She just got a major bill passed to really crack down on fentanyl. She doesn't just talk the talk, but she actually walks the walk.
I cannot tell you how much we appreciate Tammy Baldwin fighting this fight.
I'm Tammy Baldwin. I approve this message.
Is your personal injury lawyer trying to sell you a settlement that you don't think is fair? You need a lawyer who won't settle your case just to move on to the next one. Get the full compensation you deserve. Get Bygoff and Rohde.
All right, as we go into your first weather here, you're looking at, again, the possibility of cooler conditions working into the forecast. We'll see clouds on the increase as well. Then we're going to see an evening of about a 10% chance of shower activity. We'll carry that over into the night as well, where you'll see that possibly kind of move in the form of a light shower to possibly sprinkles. That being said, we take a quick peek here at your fog and low cloud activity, holding on to more of those patchy fog spots kind of moving across the area near La Crosse, around, and of course below La Crosse. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll continue to see this all back down as we get into like the 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock hour, working its way out of the forecast. You see not much going on even by 9 o'clock. Smoke tracker, as you can see, this blue here showing out, the smoke has been kind of coming in with the winds coming out of the northeast and working out westerly, kind of getting out of the way, and eventually you'll see this smoke continue to hover over us and then come back again for Wednesday, coming back into the 10 o'clock hour, well up to the north, and then across the Mississippi down to the south here. Not so much over La Crosse for the better part of tomorrow morning early. Temperatures holding on to the 50s widespread with some 60s in there now. And eventually, as I told you, we'll see cooler conditions on the way as we go through Thursday. Daily highs will be mostly around the 70s widespread to at least some near 80-degree heat. And of course, we've got this 10% chance of sprinkles, as I mentioned before. When I come back, I'll give you a better overview of how this will all play out for you. So stick around and I'll show you how it all looks for you. Back to you.
In your consumer news this morning, the Canadian owner of Circle K convenience stores has made a bid to buy Japanese-owned 7-Eleven. It would be the biggest foreign takeover of a Japanese company on record and the largest cross-border acquisition this year. In a statement, 7&I Holdings, which is the operator of 7-Eleven, confirmed it had received an offer to acquire all of its outstanding shares. Shares of 7&I closed almost 23% higher in Tokyo, pushing the company's market value above $38 billion. If you like BurgerFi, your chances to eat there may be coming to an end. That's because the fast casual burger chain is almost out of cash. BurgerFi has only $4.5 million on hand and is expecting a loss of more than $18 million for the most recent quarter. It's also in a tough space with competitors like McDonald's and Wendy's, which already serve cheaper food, facing backlash for rising prices. BurgerFi says it may have to file for bankruptcy protection. And Purdue Foods is recalling more than 167,000 pounds of frozen, ready-to-eat chicken nuggets and tenders because some may be contaminated with metal pieces. So far, there are no reports of injuries or illness. Consumers are urged to throw the recalled products away or return them for a full refund. It's a topic that impacts every American voter. Get ready to hear a lot about grocery prices in the run-up to November's elections. Karen Caifa breaks down the real deal with food prices and inflation.
Presidential candidates aiming for the kitchen table.
Grocery prices have skyrocketed.
I will take on the high costs that matter most to most Americans, like the cost of food.
An element of the economic debate that hits every voter. Last month, overall inflation slowed to its lowest level since March 2021. But when the rate of inflation decreases, prices are still rising, just at more normal rates. Grocery inflation peaked at a year-over-year increase of 13.5% in August 2022 and has steadily fallen. Last month's report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics showed overall grocery prices up 1.1% year-over-year. But Joseph Balagtas, professor of agricultural economics at Purdue University, says individual items will still see spikes based on supply, demand, and external factors. Like eggs, for example, up 19% over 1 year ago because of avian flu.
Egg producers, poultry producers have to destroy birds, flocks of birds that would otherwise lay eggs and produce chicken meat. And so we have a reduction in the supply of eggs, and higher egg prices.
And beef and pork prices, too, mostly due to summer demand. Grocery prices are up about 20% since the pandemic year in 2020, which means a $100 grocery cart now costs $120. One bright spot for consumers, wages are growing faster than food inflation.
That's it for your morning consumer news. Time now is 6:19. Let's check back in with Art for a look at our forecast.
Sandra, get some water. All right, as we get into it, here we go into it. You're looking at Skycam. Not much in the way of fog for us right now, but skies are opening up just a wee bit, but we'll see them increase through the day. Take a look here at what I've got going on for you. There's some patchy fog working all the way across and around La Crosse. You can see it kind of continuing in all the way into Winona and getting into Preston, as well as Decorah and into Prairie du Chien and Boscobel. Cooler conditions expected over the next couple of days. We'll see widespread 70s, as I told you, to around near 80 degrees. We do have a 10% chance of a sprinkle or so as we carry over later on tonight, going into possibly in the overnight hours. Here's a view of how that all begins, starting off with a little light cloud cover coming back in as we go through the afternoon, increasing our skies to partly cloudy to possibly mostly cloudy here locally. Then we'll see as we go into the 11 o'clock hour some of that rainfall trying to get on board. Also, we've got, again, you've got the holding on to Ernesto there, gumming up the works here, and that is slowing down the progression of west to east movement across the United States on the northern tier. And so we're seeing eventually all of this beginning to back up. And so warmer air is going to be on the way, coming back as high pressure bills coming back into Thursday. So for right now, today and tomorrow, we're going to hold on to slightly cooler air. Then that warmer air starts to still sneak back. We'll have that low 80-degree mark possibly getting into around the weekend, getting in with high pressure building back over us by Saturday into Sunday. We'll see those upper 80s to around the low 90s popping into the forecast. That being said, take a look at Sky Tracker as we carry over with the increasing clouds crossing the Mississippi. That pushes cloud cover over us once we get into the mid-morning hours, and then we'll increase the clouds, possibly getting into partly to mostly cloudy skies, and that will continue to go right into your afternoon, taking us to mostly cloudy conditions. There's your rainfall, still not across the Mississippi just yet, and we carry over closer to at least a 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock hour, and you're going to see some of that still trying to get across the area, mostly over into portions of going into Minneapolis as well as portions of Iowa, and then continue to get across. We're trying to see if that will get across, but right now it's a 10% chance, so it's not really likely. We'll pick up again some winds that are going to be up to 10 miles per hour, possibly up to 11 miles per hour, and then they'll go down to about 5. Partly to mostly cloudy skies, as I mentioned, with temperatures from 73 all the way to about 79 degrees here locally. We have the hot spot here in La Crosse. Tomorrow we'll do the same temperature-wise with more sunshine for you, carrying over to 79 for today, tomorrow with 80 for Thursday, mostly cloudy skies again for Thursday, and then you get into partly cloudy skies for Friday. Temperatures running at 82 degrees with a high pressure building all the way into your weekend, where temperatures get to 89 to 93 degrees and slightly a drop in temperature for Monday going into Tuesday.
All right, Art, thank you. The time now is 6:22, still ahead. Are your kids tired of the same old peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Coming up, a dietitian shares some creative ideas to make lunchtime both nutritious and fun, just in time for the new school year.
Coming up in the Blitz, the Mabel Canton Cougar volleyball team with some high expectations, plus the Toma Timberwolves football team hoping to carry some momentum into 2024.
And for now, leaving you with a live look inside the United Center in Chicago. This, of course, is home to this year's Democratic National Convention. We will have all of the highlights from the day's events and throughout the week, so stick with News 8 now on air and online. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Chart your career with a welding position at Chart Industries. Do you have a year or more of welding experience? Starting wages up to $35 per hour. We have the job for you. Apply today at jobs.chartindustries.com.
Sanctuary cities protect illegal immigrant criminals from being deported, like an illegal immigrant arrested for battery in Madison. Instead of being deported, he was released and went on to assault several more women, including a 13-year-old girl. Senator Tammy Baldwin voted 9 times to support federal funding for sanctuary cities that release dangerous illegals back onto our streets. And Baldwin voted for amnesty for 11 million illegals, including criminals. Tell Senator Baldwin, stop protecting illegal immigrants and start protecting Wisconsin.
At Taco John's, we believe a better Taco Tuesday starts with better tacos. That means using 100% North American beef, cooking shelves in-house daily, and a deal that makes you say, how are these only $1.29? Taco Tuesday is every Tuesday at Taco John's.
Turn your collector car into cash. Remlinger Collector Car Auctions is now taking consignments for its fall auction on September 27th and 28th in Winona, Minnesota. Visit RemlingerAuctions.com to consign now and maximize your earnings. Early consigners receive the most exposure to our eager pre-qualified bidders. Reserve your spot today and join the excitement. Remlinger Collector Car Auctions, where every car has a story and every bid is an adventure.
Welcome to Washington, D.C. You got a bunch of loudmouth, preening politicians. It's absolute chaos. I'm Derek Van Orden, and after 26 years as a Navy SEAL, there's a few things that I learned. You stay on mission, you know what you're fighting for, and sometimes you gotta get a little dirty to finish the job. Let's go, kids. Not you. Not you. You. Let's go. I'm Derek Van Orden, and I approve this message.
Chart your career with a welding position at Chart Industries. Do you have a year or more of welding experience? Starting wages up to $35 per hour. We have the job for you. Apply today at jobs.chartindustries.com.
Welcome to the Blitz. Well, high school volleyball is back. Teams in Wisconsin get their first week started yesterday, while our Minnesota teams are now into week number 2. The Mabel Canton Cougars were flying around the gym yesterday, and the girls already have their eyes on a third straight trip to state. Lonnie Morgan is entering year number 31 as head coach of Mabel Canton. He has well over 800 wins, but has possibly never had a team as good as this year's. The Cougars are preseason ranked number 1 in Class 1A after returning everyone from last season's 4th place state finish. And this time around, the team only has one goal in mind.
We have very high expectations. We're hoping we can win state this year. It's a lot, but we are all very focused, and I think everybody on the team wants it. And if everyone wants it that bad, then I think we can accomplish it.
State championship. I mean, definitely conference, like one thing at a time. We're not going to roll past everyone. We have some competition still, regular season for sure. But yeah, to get to state first, and I know we have a shot at the state championship.
It is the biggest goal you can have, but when you have players who are willing to learn and a coach who has 30 years of experience, the stars might just be aligning in Mabel Canton.
So the easy thing would be to sit back and say, well, you know, keep everything the same. The same starters, the same rotation, the same everything. Well, I've never been one to do the easy thing, right? Because that's when you start doing the easy thing, you relax, you get complacent. Last year, they realized we had to get better at serving, had to get better at serve-receive, and our offense had to get a little bit more diverse.
Cougars will begin their season this weekend up in Duluth, and then they'll start their quest for a 27th straight conference title when they host Leroy Ostrander next Monday. Meanwhile, in Tomah, it is game week. The Timberwolves preparing for an opening matchup with the Richland Center Hornets on Friday at home. Last year, Tomah dropped their opening playoff game by 1 point against Baraboo, but prior to that, the T-Wolves ripped off 3 straight wins to end the regular season on a high note. A number of stars from last year's squad are gone, but that means more chances for new players to show what they've got. You can't take a single rep off, especially during the practice field.
Intensity is definitely picking up, I feel like. That guys are starting to realize that we do have games and we can't be slacking or just not caring as much. We have to really double down and execute and focus on what we're doing.
It makes it a lot more competitive. People are grinding for that spot because, right, it can be like, hey, you and so-and-so are battling between. So now we watch and practice where who's making the plays and who's not.
Joe Protz is now in his 5th year leading Tomah, a program that hadn't won 5 games in a season since 2015 before the success in 2023. And now they'll look to keep the momentum going beginning on Friday. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
Refresh your space with a mid-century makeover at Ashley. During the Labor Day sale, discover statement pieces starting at $499.99. Plus, get 0% interest for 5 years on in-store purchases. No minimum purchase required. Shop more deals in-store and online.
Our son Trent overcame kidney disease and beat cancer. But when he injured his leg, he took what he thought was a pain pill.
It was laced with fentanyl, and it killed him. He was 23.
We reached out to Tammy Baldwin, but all we got back was a form letter.
Obviously, she doesn't care about families like ours. Our kids are dying from fentanyl pouring across our border.
And we can't trust Tammy Baldwin to stop it.
Fix Washington PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Dental implants are often the best solution to severe dental issues. If you have infection in your mouth, it does cause trouble other places. A lot of people ignore infection for way too long. And when they finally do something about it, they say not only do they like what they did here, but they feel better overall. In the end, you can have a smile you're proud of and a very healthy mouth.
We're an implant-focused practice. If you think you have a full mouth of challenges, come see us. Come down for a free consultation.
What would you think of a man who builds homes to rescue children from abandonment, sex trafficking, and slavery?
An employer who does charitable work alongside us and pays for us to go around the world helping kids in need.
He helps single moms in Wisconsin.
Funds food banks here.
And fights sex trafficking across America.
That man is my husband, Eric, and he'll fight for you, just like he fights for them.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
Improving your home, improving your life with quality for less. Don't be fooled by free installation or buy this and get that free. Be assured this baloney is the road sign to high prices. Discover what thousands of your friends and neighbors have for over 30 years. The best price today and every day on windows and doors, bathrooms and kitchens, siding and gutters, sunrooms, decks, and pergolas. Call or visit the board store for a prompt free estimate. 524 Copeland Avenue, La Crosse, since 1989.
We know the fentanyl coming from Mexico and China is a threat here in Wisconsin.
It's why Tammy Baldwin is working to stop it.
And Tammy passed the bipartisan Fend Off Fentanyl Act.
That takes on the Mexican cartels and the fentanyl coming from China.
And Tammy Baldwin voted 32 times to strengthen our border.
32 times to increase border patrols.
And technology to keep illegal drugs out. Because Senator Baldwin knows
keeping us safe is her first priority.
Tell Tammy Baldwin to keep securing our borders.
Labor Day mattress deals are happening now at Ashley. For a limited time, save up to $1,000 on select mattress purchases. Plus, get 0% interest for 5 years on in-store purchases. Only at Ashley.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
Welcome back. In your morning medical news, it's a common trend these days. People often like to scroll through a bunch of videos on YouTube or TikTok. Maybe you're doing that right now. But a new study suggests continuing to skip around may actually make you more bored. Researchers at the University of Toronto performed 2 experiments on about 1,200 people. The first trial had people watch a 10-minute video followed by 10 minutes where they could switch between 7 5-minute videos. The second trial had people watch a 10-minute video followed by a 50-minute video. They could rewind or fast forward. The study found participants who watched the video straight through felt more engaged and satisfied than the ones who skipped around. You want your children to eat a lunch that's good for them, but packing the same turkey sandwich every day can get a little boring. Mandy Gaither has 10 healthy ideas to help you break out of the packed school lunch rut.
It's not always easy packing healthy lunches that kids will actually eat.
We want to put multiple different food groups in there so we can help our kids have the energy they need to get through that school day.
Registered dietitian Catherine Sherry says parents can easily make lunch healthy and fun. Try cold pasta salad with whole wheat pasta, Italian dressing, some veggies and cheese. Add a side of fruit and hard-boiled eggs for protein. Finger food buffets, low sodium turkey, cheese, whole wheat crackers, cooked green beans, apple slices, and nut or seed butter. Chicken and guacamole, use rotisserie chicken and whole wheat pita slices, toss in carrots and dip, and some grapes. Nut or seed butter cracker sandwiches, add Greek yogurt or cottage cheese, some sliced bell peppers, and berries. Deconstructed tacos, ground turkey or beef with taco seasoning and all the fixings, add a side of watermelon. Try chicken salad with whole wheat crackers, veggies, and fruit. Roll up your low-sodium deli meat around string cheese, add hummus to dip celery and pita in, and a banana. Leftover pasta, tortellini tastes great cold. Add a fruit cup and a veggie. A chicken wrap. Use a whole wheat tortilla, rotisserie chicken, veggies and cheese, maybe some sliced cucumber and ranch to dip. Finally, chicken cubes with barbecue to dip, carrots, a fruit, and some homemade trail mix. Sherry says to also involve your children.
Having them help you pack it is going to make them more likely to eat it.
Some good ideas there. I got to keep up. To make life easier, the dietitian suggests packing lunch the night before. She says kids don't typically mind eating the same thing over and over. So if you do find a healthy meal they enjoy and they're eating with it, just go with it. Gunderson Health System is expanding its mental health services in response to growing community needs. Gunderson announcing the addition of 4 inpatient mental health beds, allowing them to serve an extra 200 patients in crisis each year. This expansion comes at a critical time. Recent closures of HSHS Sacred Heart Hospital and Prevea Behavioral Care Clinic have significantly reduced behavioral health beds in our area. The move aligns with the 2024 Compass Now report, identifying mental health care and healthcare access as the top 2 community needs in our region.
This also makes us the only inpatient behavioral health provider this side of the state. The decisions are not easy, but this is a necessary one. We are adding 4 inpatient behavioral health beds to meet the needs of our community, patients, and families who need it.
The addition brings their total to 34 beds in inpatient behavioral health. Green thumbs and big hearts were hard at work yesterday at Northwoods International School. Volunteers kicked off their week by preparing the school garden for the new academic year. The Green Initiative is led by Grow, a local nonprofit that partners with schools to connect youth with healthy food through hands-on gardening. The Monday morning crew didn't just harvest produce, they also tackled weeding and watering to ensure the garden is in top shape for returning students.
We love to have the kids in the garden. We love to have volunteers come out and help support it, because that's what it's all about, is bringing the community in and having everybody involved.
If you'd like to help Grow prep the other partner gardens for the upcoming school year, you can visit our website to learn more. Community members teed off yesterday at the La Crosse Country Club to support scouting in the Coulee region. The outing started with a shotgun start. It featured hole-in-one challenges and giveaways. Participants also had the chance to meet a special guest, Green Bay Packer Hall of Fame quarterback Lynn Dickey. Dickey says his time in the Boy Scouts taught him valuable lessons in discipline.
If you don't get anything out of it other than I have a chore, I have an assignment, but the discipline that it takes to go ahead and do those chores and do those accomplishments. And I think you're learning at a young age how to discipline yourself to do something and accomplish it.
Funds raised at the golf outing will go towards scouting programs in 8 southwest Wisconsin counties and Houston County in Minnesota. There's nothing like talk of unidentified objects in the sky to get our imaginations going. Former Pentagon and intelligence official Lou Elizondo made comments on CBS News 60 Minutes that put the global spotlight on the government's look into unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs. Now he's sharing more details about his work in a new book, and he told CBS Mornings the craft are not made by humans.
At the end of the day, when you're studying the material and you're studying the capabilities of these vehicles, and frankly, there's nothing that we have that compares to what these vehicles can do, the capabilities that they're demonstrating in front of us, then one has to ask, well, where are they from? And if it's not our technology and it's not some sort of adversarial technology, it's someone's technology.
In a statement to CBS News, the Pentagon says the department will follow the data wherever it leads. However, to date, we have not found any credible evidence of extraterrestrial activity. Time now is 6:37. Here is Art to tell us what to expect on our morning commute. People might be commuting, I guess, with UFOs.
UFOs, full moons, we got it all, right? It's all promoting for aliens, I would assume. Hey, take a look there as we get into it. There, skies right now mostly clear, getting into partly cloudy skies throughout the day. Then eventually you can see out there that fog that is out there over the river valleys. You'll get rid of that by the time we get into the 7 o'clock hour, possibly closer again to about the 7:30 hour. You see that kind of get out of the way, and we're done by 8 o'clock. Take a look here. We got temperatures in the 50s, some 60s out there already. We're a little bit cooler than what we were going to expect over the next couple of days. We'll hold on to at least daily highs around 70s to near 80 degrees in some cases. Eventually, we'll get into maybe a 10% chance of a spotty shower as we finish out tonight as well, going going into the overnight hours. That being said, let's take a quick peek here what I've got going on for you. The radar is light right now, nothing really happening out there. And then we'll get into this. This comes in later on tonight. We're looking at 7 o'clock. You're looking at the possibility of a little shower or so, possibly between 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock, either some sprinkles, possibly, or maybe even a shower. And that time, you can see once we get into the overnight hours past midnight, it starts to shrink away from us to the southwest. Rain amounts, not much, about a tenth of an inch or less. Temperatures will run from the 60s from 8 o'clock all the way to about about 12 p.m. today. We'll get up to about 74 degrees. We're looking at Eau Claire with sunshine getting back into a little increasing clouds to finish out the day around 72 degrees. I'll have more coming up for you in just a bit, so stick around. All right, we've got this coming up for you as well. Buzz report for Donald Trump has posted fake images. Yeah, AI images have suggested that Taylor Swift has endorsed him in the 2024 election. More on the fake images of the pop star and her previous political endorsements when we return, so stick around.
During the Labor Day sale going on now at PM Sleep Center, you can save up to $800 on select Stearns & Foster adjustable mattress sets. Your next mattress is at PM Sleep Center, giving La Crosse a good night's sleep for over 35 years.
Sanctuary cities protect illegal immigrant criminals from being deported, like an illegal immigrant arrested for battery in Madison. Instead of being deported, he was released and went on to assault several more women, including a 13-year-old girl. Senator Tammy Baldwin voted 9 times to support federal funding for sanctuary cities that release dangerous illegals back onto our streets. And Baldwin voted for amnesty for 11 million illegals, including criminals. Tell Senator Baldwin, stop protecting illegal immigrants and start protecting Wisconsin.
Are your toilets in need of an upgrade? Not only can older toilets be uncomfortable, they can also clog more and increase your utility bills. At Maxwell White, we offer professionally trusted Kohler toilets. Our popular best-selling toilet is the Kohler Highline, available in various heights to provide ultimate accessibility and ease of use. Don't wait. Start enjoying the exceptional power, innovation, and water-saving sustainability of a new Kohler toilet. Trust the toilet experts at Maxwell White. Plumbing done right. Call today.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or get $3,500 purchase cash on select GMC Sierra models. Or get a total of $6,000 purchase allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
Visit your best choice GMC dealer today.
Life has become too expensive. Groceries and gas have gotten out of control, and red tape is killing the economy. But fortunately, our Congressman Derek Van Orden is fighting for solutions to make living more affordable for us in Wisconsin. He's advocating for common sense bills that would make everyday items like gas and groceries more affordable.
Now, Congress has an opportunity to lower costs by cutting red tape. Tell Congressman Van Orden to keep working to lower costs and support the Red Tape Reduction Act.
During the Labor Day sale going on now at PM Sleep Center, you can save up to $800 on select Stearns & Foster adjustable mattress sets. Your next mattress is at PM Sleep Center, giving La Crosse a good night's sleep for over 35 years.
Well, it's a glorious day out there. Get out and enjoy it if you can. Starting out with a little patchy fog out here right now, but it'll start to wane once we get into the 8 o'clock hour or so. It'll be gone and lifting. Cooler conditions expected not only today, but tomorrow as well. May even linger into Thursday with temperatures possibly getting up to around 80 there. We're looking at temperatures today and tomorrow around 79 degrees for our highs. Mostly widespread 70s for all of the locations. In fact, you're going to see sprinkles possibly getting into later on this evening and tonight. We're talking very unlikely, but it's a 10% chance out there for you. Here's a view of it currently, as I mentioned and showed you before. Increasing clouds through the day as well as getting into the evening. It'll start to break down getting into the 6 o'clock a.m. hour, and we'll get into some clearing skies with a better looking day going in for Wednesday with more sunshine for you. In fact, you're going to see warm conditions try to get closer and closer, but not so much. It kind of wanes and fades away as cooler air comes in. By the time we get in the weekend, though, temperatures are going to bounce back up. So we're talking Friday about 82 degrees. You're looking at 89 for Saturday, possibly 93 going into Sunday, and it is going to be really warm to hot. We'll get into then again, here's Sky Tracker showing you the increasing clouds through the day, getting us to partly cloudy skies, and then eventually once we get into the 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock hour, we're looking at the possibility in noon. We're looking at least mostly cloudy skies possibly coming into the area here. You can see it from the north, from Ladysmith all the way to Eau Claire, and back here locally finishing out the afternoon. And here comes the rainfall trying to get across the Mississippi and trying to get closer to us, but it looks like it may or it may not do it. It's like a 10% chance, so I don't want to have you change your plans today. Winds are going to be up to possibly about 11 miles per hour for us, and then they back off. We'll go into highs today, holding on to about 73 to about 79 degrees. We have partly to mostly cloudy skies, but tomorrow we get into mostly sunny skies, and we'll do the temperatures all over again. We're looking at 76 possibly to 79 degrees for our high, widespread 70s for everybody, and then of course once we get into the next few days, this is what's going to happen for us. We hold on to the upper 70s for the next couple of days, and we get to around 80 degrees for your Thursday and Friday. High pressure begins to build up, and that means everything starts to work again, going from west to east, opening up the skies. We warm up as high pressure builds up. We're looking at Saturday and Sunday, as I told you, 89 degrees to 93. Once you get into Monday, temperatures begin to wane as high pressure builds away from us, and then eventually we're seeing 90 for the high on Monday, and Tuesday about 85 degrees with potential rainfall maybe coming back in for Wednesday. That's a look at your forecast. Have a wonderful day.
In our Morning Buzz report, Taylor Swift may have something different to write her next album about. Former President Trump posting a carousel of images of the singer on his Truth Social account, falsely suggesting he has the singer's support. He wrote, "I accept," along with the photos, which were faked and generated by AI. Among those images are Swift dressed as Uncle Sam with the caption, "Taylor wants you to vote for Donald Trump." Others show fans wearing Swifties for Trump t-shirts. Swift has not endorsed a presidential candidate this election. She did endorse Biden in 2020. Millie Bobby Brown's book has been optioned by Netflix. Deadline reports the Stranger Things actress will adapt her World War II novel 19 Steps into a feature film.
Mortals, I made you. And this is how you repay me.
Jeff Goldblum portrays the Greek god Zeus in the streaming series Chaos. The modern take on mythology finds the king of the gods worrying about a prophecy of his fall from power. Chaos reigns when the series debuts on Netflix August 29th.
There is this culture of almost entirely women who raise chimpanzees and monkeys as if they're babies.
Send the police! I'm chimpanzee! Please, she ripped your face off!
The new docuseries Chimp Crazy examines the bond between people and their pet primates. The series follows the lives of 4 chimps and their handlers and their sometimes tragic outcomes. Chimp Crazy is streaming on Max. That would probably be pretty interesting, huh, to watch.
Watching your face get ripped off?
No, I mean watch the documentary.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I think
just keep training them more and more, and then Return of the Planet of the Apes. Here we go.
Right. I know you've got all that covered. So you're staying far away. Far away from the chimps.
You?
All right. No, I'll follow your lead. I'll stay safe with you,
I'm
Art.
supposed to stick with the smart woman here. What are you talking about?
I'm staying away if you are. Before we head to break, it's time to look at today's Look Who's 8.
Hey, Riley is turning 18 years old today. She loves being around her family, pets, and of course, driving her Ford pickup truck.
And Patrick is also turning 18. He loves being a big brother to his 3 younger siblings and practicing welding.
Yeah, if you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, or 18, 80, or 88 years old soon, we'd love to feature them.
That's right. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button underneath the Home tab. The time now is 6:47. Stay with us. We have everything you need to know in 5 minutes or less. Your morning news now is up next.
If you're in a nursing home, you only have 5-6 month life expectancy. Almost nobody in a nursing home is in a point to vote.
Listen, Eric Hovde, Mr. Fancy California banker, I earned my retirement, but you said you would absolutely cut Social Security and even raise the retirement age. Now you want to take away our right to vote? Eric Hovde, you're one heck of a jerk. Will never have my vote. DSCC is responsible for the content of this ad.
To everyone out there who loves Culver's,
the feeling is mutual. Everything's made fresh.
Everything. Everything.
It's our pleasure.
This is me and my happy place.
I wouldn't trade our Culver's for any other restaurant.
Culver's. Yay! We love our guests.
Love.
Love.
As much as our guests love us.
This is me and my happy place.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Yeah.
Drive into summer with the rugged Honda Ridgeline, Passport, and Pilot. Summer is for exploring, so get outdoors, kick up some dust, get muddy, or just find that perfect campsite. All from Honda, the 2024 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value brand. So act now to get an offer you'll love. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or hurry into the Honda Summer Event.
50 years ago, I prayed this prayer, and it changed my life, and it can change your life. You see, I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired, and my life was in a mess. And I just got on my knees one night, and I said, God, I've sinned against you. I'm sorry. Forgive me. And I said, I believe Jesus Christ is your Son, and I believe that he took my sins to the cross, and he died and shed his blood for my sins, and that he was buried, and that you raised him to life. And I'd like to invite him to come into my heart right now. And I prayed that prayer, and God heard my prayer, and he forgave me, and he'll forgive you, and he'll cleanse you and change your life starting today. Just pray this prayer. So say, God, I'm a sinner. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I believe Jesus is your Son. I want to trust him as my Savior and follow him as my Lord from this day forward. Amen. If you prayed that prayer, I want you to call right now that number that's on the screen. Call that number, and may God bless you.
My day is packed. Client meetings,
patient rounds,
getting kids out the door.
But Eric Hovde thinks all women care about is Hollywood.
It's just deplorable. Sadly, with, females, they spend too much time focused on what's going on in Hollywood.
Well, guess what, Eric Hovde?
We know you supported overturning Roe versus Wade.
And we know you'd vote for a national abortion ban, too.
Eric Hovde must think he knows better than us.
What is wrong with this guy?
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Remembrance, recognition, honoring. Obituaries on News8000.com.
The First Warn Weather app. Download it today.
Welcome back. It's 6:51. Time for your morning news now. 4 teenagers were hurt in a weekend UTV crash in Viroqua. According to the Vernon County Sheriff's Office, a side-by-side UTV was headed east on the Upper Maplevale Road when the 14-year-old driver tipped the UTV onto its side while making a right turn. All 4 passengers were taken to the hospital and they were released that day. Police say no seatbelts or helmets were used. The crash is still under investigation. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is urging Hamas to accept a proposal to help bridge differences over a possible ceasefire in Gaza that could bring some Israeli hostages home. Blinken says Israel has signed off on that agreement. The high-stakes talks come as fears rise that the war could escalate into a bigger regional conflict. President Biden delivered the keynote address on night 1 of the Democratic National Convention. Vice President Kamala Harris also made a brief surprise speech as party officials lay out their vision for the ticket. Outside the venue, there were a few arrests of demonstrators who breached a fence line. There'll be a ceremonial roll call later today, even though Harris and her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, were already nominated in an online vote. Ahead of day 2, both parties are making stops in Wisconsin today. Harris and her running mate will be at Pfizer Forum, their 3rd Wisconsin visit in recent weeks. Republican VP nominee J.D. Vance will hold a press conference in Kenosha, joined by GOP Senate nominee Eric Hovde and Representative Brian Steele. Bangor residents will see an important school funding question on their November ballots. Bangor voters will decide whether to renew a $900,000 annual funding boost for their school district. This referendum seeks to continue the support voters first approved in 2021. If residents vote yes, the funding will kick in for the 2025 school year. A no vote could force the district to increase class sizes, delay maintenance, and cut student opportunities. Henderson Health System is expanding its mental health services in response to growing community needs. They are adding 4 inpatient health beds, allowing them to serve an extra 200 patients in crisis each year. This expansion comes at a critical time after recent closures have created a significantly reduced behavioral health beds in our area.
This also makes us the only inpatient behavioral health provider this side of the state. The decisions are not easy, but this is a necessary one. We are adding 4 inpatient behavioral health beds to meet the needs of our community, patients, and families who need it.
The addition brings their total to 34 beds in inpatient behavioral health. Happening today, a section of Cass Street in downtown La Crosse will be closed. The city will close both east and westbound lanes of Cass Street from 7th to 3rd Streets for the Downtown Tree Project. The city hasn't announced an end date for the work and says no detour will be posted. Drivers should plan alternate routes and expect some delays. Green thumbs and big hearts were hard at work yesterday at Northwoods International. Volunteers kicked off their week by preparing the school garden for the new academic year. This green initiative is led by GROW, a local nonprofit that partners with schools to connect youth with healthy food through hands-on experiences.
We love to have the kids in the garden. We love to have volunteers come out and help support it, because that's what it's all about, is bringing the community in and having everybody involved.
If you'd like to help GROW prep the other partner gardens for the upcoming school year, you can visit our website.
How about a bit cooler for you for the next couple of days? We'll go into today looking at widespread 70s for you. Then we'll see clouds increase on us as well going into the afternoon and into the evening hours with a 10% chance of a shower, maybe a sprinkle. We'll get into tomorrow with more sunshine for you, but temperatures fairly similar. Temperatures will be from 76 to 79 degrees. And as we go in the next few days after that, Thursday and Friday, well, high pressure will begin to build. 80s come back. We'll see them get into the upper 80s going into your weekend to near 93 degrees in some cases, and then slightly cooler for the beginning of next week.
All right. Yeah. Whoa. Then there's a 93 in there.
Yeah.
That threw me off. All right. Well, what's going on here? Prehistoric Spectacle took over a racetrack south of Seattle this weekend, but don't worry, no actual dinosaurs were involved. Thousands gathered to watch the T-Rex World Championship races, where about 200 participants donned these inflatable T-Rex costumes to run a 100-meter dash. Racers of all ages competed in categories ranging from 11 and under to over 50. This quirky annual event, now in its 6th year, began as a pest control company team building activity. I wonder how old the person who won was. Look at them go. They're pretty fast, huh?
There they are. They're really quick. Whoever created that design for
the costume.
T-Rex,
yeah, it's so popular. You see it just all the time, right?
To everyone.
Yeah, always popping up places. Well, thank you so much for starting your morning with us. We will see you back here at noon. Until then, enjoy your Tuesday.